Lewis Hamilton has just dropped a bombshell so massive, it sent shockwaves through the entire Ferrari garage. And it didn't come after a victory, a podium finish, or even a fight for the front. No, it came after one of the most frustrating, disappointing, and downright humiliating weekends of his entire career. The Spanish Grand Prix wasn't just another bad race for Hamilton. It was a wake-up call. For the first time since joining Ferrari, he didn't just hint at problems. He laid them bare for the world to see. From a car that felt undrivable after a crucial setup change to being overtaken by midfield drivers in front of a packed Barcelona crowd, Hamilton's frustration boiled over. And the message he delivered was deafening. This is not what he signed up for. But here's where it gets even more explosive. Hamilton didn't just complain. He pointed directly at the heart of Ferrari's problems: poor communication, questionable calls under pressure, and a car concept that still isn't delivering when it counts the most. And when his teammate, Charles Leclerc, stepped onto the podium, the contrast couldn't have been more damning. Is there a split emerging within Ferrari? Has Hamilton lost faith in the project? Or is this the wake-up call the team finally needs? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and don't go anywhere. Because what you're about to hear may just change the way you view Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari, and the future of the 2025 season. The real sting for Hamilton didn't just come from the performance, it came from the glaring contrast across the same garage. While Lewis was battling to stay ahead of midfield cars and wrestling with a Ferrari that felt completely alien to him, Charles Leclerc was climbing onto the podium. Yes, the very same SF25, albeit with a different strategy and setup. That visual alone, one driver celebrating with a trophy, the other walking away visibly deflated, screamed louder than any PR spin Ferrari could muster. And that's where Hamilton's latest comments hit like a bombshell. "The car just wasn't working here," he said bluntly, refusing to sugarcoat a race that had completely unraveled. This wasn't just a bad day at the office. Hamilton's tone made it clear. This is systemic, something deep within Ferrari's setup process, their weekend preparation, and the way feedback is being translated into car performance is fundamentally off. For a man who built his legacy on precision, flawless execution, and elite-level adaptability, such a fundamental flaw isn't just frustrating, it's downright unacceptable. Then came the radio message that truly blew the lid off the entire situation. "The car suddenly feels very light," Hamilton reported after his final stop, still under the safety car. He suspected the front wing adjustment, a tiny routine change made during the pit stop, had gone wrong. Think about that. In one of the most resource-heavy, high-pressure teams on the grid, a minor tweak potentially ruined the balance of Hamilton's car for the rest of the race. That's the kind of detail a top team gets right, especially at a place like Ferrari. That's the kind of precision they should be nailing without even thinking. And yet, here we are, discussing a flap adjustment that may have cost Hamilton any chance of even finishing in the top six. Fred Vasseur, to his credit, didn't dodge the issue entirely. He admitted in post-race interviews that the front wing setup may have been compromised, but the fact that such a basic error could happen during a double-stack pit stop in a race where every single second mattered raises far bigger questions. If the team can't execute flawlessly in the pit lane, how on earth are they supposed to compete strategically with Red Bull or outdevelop McLaren as the season progresses? Meanwhile, while Hamilton struggles with consistency, Max Verstappen surges ahead. His third-place finish, pending investigation or not, was a masterclass in timing, tire management, and seizing the opportunity when it knocks. He executed the perfect race under changing conditions. And crucially, his side of the garage got everything right. That wasn't luck. That was synergy. That's the kind of communication and connection between driver and engineer that Hamilton had for years with Bono at Mercedes. And right now at Ferrari, that bond seems to be non-existent. This isn't about driver talent. This is about system-wide harmony, communication, execution, and trust. And right now, Ferrari seems to only be able to get one side of the garage operating smoothly at a time. That's a disaster waiting to happen, especially with someone as vocal and experienced as Hamilton pushing for perfection. Hamilton's post-race tone may have been calm, but make no mistake, there was fury bubbling just beneath the surface. He spoke of needing to analyze everything, of needing to find the right direction, of working in the simulator to close the gap. These aren't vague platitudes, they're coded warnings. Hamilton, is signaling that unless things change fast, unless Ferrari starts operating at a level worthy of its resources in history, then they'll waste not just this season, but the opportunity of having one of the greatest drivers in F1 history in their car. He even acknowledged that Nico Hülkenberg's pass late in the race was a wake-up call. And remember, Hülkenberg was on soft tires, yes, but driving a state car that on paper shouldn't be anywhere near a Ferrari moment in front of tens of thousands of fans in Spain crystallized the gap between expectation and reality for Hamilton. It wasn't just about one lost place. It was about a championship-level driver being left defenseless in a car that had no business being so slow. What makes this even more uncomfortable for Ferrari is the timing. These weren't just any upgrades. Barcelona marked a critical checkpoint in the SF25's development. If this latest package didn't work, the team would have to consider whether to shift focus entirely to 2026. And for Hamilton, who joined Ferrari to win now, not in 2 years. That possibility is catastrophic. It's clear now that Barcelona was a crossroads and Ferrari took the wrong turn. Hamilton's comments weren't just disappointment, they were a direct challenge to the team's standards, its processes, and its accountability. And unless Maranello responds with immediate and dramatic improvements, this relationship could begin to sour faster than anyone anticipated. Because here's the bottom line. Hamilton doesn't tolerate mediocrity. He doesn't accept procedural errors. He doesn't settle for slow responses or excuses. And if Ferrari can't give him a car and a team environment that match his level, then all the history, all the romance, all the scarlet red mystique won't mean a thing. And now, as the paddock shifts focus to Montreal, one thing is certain: all eyes are on Ferrari. Because if they let this bombshell go unanswered, they won't just risk losing their shot at the 2025 championship, they'll risk losing the confidence of a driver who was supposed to lead them back to glory. So, what happens next? That's the question everyone in the paddock is asking. And the answer could define the fate of Ferrari's entire season. Because what we witnessed in Barcelona wasn't just a poor result, it was the culmination of months of unaddressed tension, flawed execution, and missed potential. Lewis Hamilton didn't just drop a bombshell. He held up a mirror to the team's operational shortcomings, and now Ferrari have nowhere left to hide. Will they finally take his feedback seriously? Will they admit that the current system, the strategies, the setups, the pit stops, simply isn't working at the level required to fight for a world championship? Or will they continue brushing problems under the rug, hoping that raw talent and a fresh coat of optimism can somehow mask the deeper structural issues? The next few races will answer those questions. Montreal isn't just another stop on the calendar. It's a circuit where confidence, precision, and trust between driver and engineer are non-negotiable. And if Ferrari can't get it right there, if they allow Hamilton to once again be let down by poor decisions or preventable errors, the damage may become irreversible because the cracks are already visible. And if they widen, this partnership could collapse long before it ever reaches its full potential. Let's not forget Hamilton came to Ferrari with one goal to win. Not in 3 years, not eventually, but now. And if he begins to feel that dream slipping away due to the team's own avoidable mistakes, then the pressure will shift entirely onto the scooter's shoulders. And that pressure under the weight of global scrutiny could become unbearable. So the real story here isn't just about one race gone wrong. It's about whether Ferrari, a team steeped in history but haunted by recent failures, can rise to the challenge of delivering for a driver who refuses to settle for anything less than excellence. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Ferrari can turn this around in time, or has Hamilton uncovered a flaw too deep to fix? And if you want to follow every twist and turn of this high-stakes saga, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because the road to Canada has already begun, and it might just be the most important race of Ferrari's modern era.